Hello, welcome back to my mapping series. The beta testers right now are going through the map, looking for floaters, weird looking areas that we need to fix before we can light map it. There's some other stuff I want to do. For one thing, I want to make a new road texture, so it looks like a really snowy path where you don't even see the earth through it. That's for the big main road area that bisects the first sector. So for that I will do it relatively quick and dirty. There's more you can do here, but I'm gonna do it in a more economic way. So first of all, I'm gonna take this color texture, which we're already using, well, as a color texture for the map. So it should fit in relatively well. Gonna make it a bit smaller. And what I'm going to do now is take the alpha channel from this one, which looks like this, and make it into the alpha channel of this. And I think this will look actually pretty cool. And since the texture is tiling, this is a real quick way to get a new texture here. Here we go. Now we're gonna save that with mipmaps and as a DDS, and then we can use that as a road texture and take a look at how it looks in a game. After that, if it doesn't look good, we can still tweak it by adding more different texture layers on it, but for now I'm gonna try it like this real quick. So let's go for export and op mass. Yeah, we're just gonna put it into textures and I'm gonna call it op mass slash road big. That's not too descriptive. Op mass snow road. Yeah, it's probably better, and of course it has to be as a DDS, not a JPEG. So the question is, so it's mipmaps, that's clear. I keep forgetting, is it DXD5? You know, the best way to find that out, because I keep forgetting what stupid, that doesn't look right, 342. We were just going to compare it to that road, well, 342, so yeah, apparently that was correct, DXD5. Okay, we're also gonna save this in the source folder as a XFC file in case I want to make it a bit better looking later. But for now it should be relatively fine. Let's put it in the textures. Okay, here we go. So now I'm gonna get that thing into the editor. Alright, I implemented that now. It's hard to tell how good this looks because in the editor, well, the roads always, they aren't displayed properly, as you can see here as well. So we will have to check that out in-game at a later date, but for now we'll keep it like that and I can always rework it or kind of improve it a bit. So the next thing I want to look at is some undergrowth actually, namely these rocks that are supposed to be snow chunks. Real quick, which textures am I using for those? That would be good to know. And I think that's disturbed snow, right? Yeah, snowball 1, genrock 1, and okay, those are just the normal vanilla Battlefield 2 rocks textures. I think I might try, because what makes it look bad, or like stones basically, is the fact that it has this texture around. I'm gonna try to just put a generic snow texture on that, like just a normal detail texture that I'm using anyway. One second, what is the normal detail texture that I'm using for snow? I'm just gonna wrap that around the rocks and see if it looks already good. Okay, so that's my plan for now, and if it doesn't look good, which just seems fairly possible, A frozen snow 01A, I think that's the one I'm using. Garmisch snow. Oh no, that's the one I'm using right now for these areas, which I might replace or not. I'm not sure. And I think Garmisch snow, yeah, that's the one that I use for these normal undisturbed areas and this Bastogne frozen grass is... Oh yeah, Bastogne frozen grass is the yellowish grass here for the forest areas. Okay, okay. So we'll use the Garmisch snow texture around this disturbed snow. The next thing after that I'm going to do is replace this texture, because this here, which right now I think is called Bastogne Snow version 3, I already downloaded a new detail texture from textures.com at the beginning of the project, actually, that will look more like disturbed snow. So that will be the next thing after the undergrowth. Yeah, okay, we have a plan. Alright, so let's see. This is the generic rock. It's 128 times 128, pretty small, and this is that detail texture. So yeah, I'm just gonna replace, or I'm just gonna rather scale down the detail texture to 128 and 128. Yeah, and I will obviously export that as a DDS and put that into the editor, BF2 editor, content, terrain, yeah, undergrowth. And as a DDS file here, I think, does undergrowth have, I don't think undergrowth has mipmaps, to be honest, right? Actually it has, I just looked at the stupid stone thingy. Okay, I'm just gonna call this snow chunk 1. And then we will see how it looks. I think that's also DXD5, right? And generate mipmaps. Okay. Let's just put that on one of these rock textures, or on one of these rock meshes, and see what it looks like. Alright, let's see how that looks. Let's go to this. Disturbed snow. Okay. Of course we have that stuff everywhere, so we will change 1 first. Snowball 1. And let's extend that, forgot about that. Texture. Let's see how this looks. What did I call it again? Snow chunk, yeah, that's right, that's right. Snow chunk 1. Okay, not great. And if we, let's look at it a bit closer. Well, for one thing we get compression artifacts, I think. But let's say we change the terrain color scale. Does that make it look cooler? Well, kind of, but not really. The problem is, of course, that this one has a baked-in shadow. The normal one has a baked-in shadow at the bottom, so that's what we will have to do for these as well, and probably make them generally a bit brighter, so they look better. Other than that, is the texture maybe a bit too busy? Probably not, actually. I mean, I guess we could smooth it out a little bit. Actually, the texture might be generally a bit too dark. Oh, 1 second. Somebody's apparently out the door. And we are back. Okay. So, what I think I'm going to do, actually, this here will be my shadow texture, and over that I will put a brighter exposed to the sun type texture. So for that I will just make this brighter, obviously. Something like that should be enough. And then, and now comes the 300 IQ play here. We're gonna get this over, you know, the old texture, put that in. So that's the rock, and I'm gonna first of all, this will be completely desaturated, so basically made into black and white. With which setting is best for that? Yeah, this seems the best. I will put up the contrast a little bit. Bup, 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 bup. Contrast a little bit. Let's not overdo it. And this I will now put into the bright version of this texture as an alpha channel. And then, let's get rid of that. Okay, it's still, to me, probably not bright enough, so I'm gonna crank up the brightness here a little bit more. Brightness and contrast. Like that. Okay. Gonna first of all save this as an XFC file. Snow chunk 1. Yep. Oh, did I? Nah, never mind. I think I put that directly into the undergrowth folder on SVN. I need to get that out of there later. And let's export that into here as we did before as snowchunk1.dds and see if this looks better. And if so, then we have found a very easy way to do it. Okay, let's look at it in game. And in my opinion, this looks pretty cool now. Now it still looks a bit rocky because due to me using the rock texture here, it obviously also means that we have shadow on the top using that rock texture. I think what I will try here is either just paint that out in the bright areas, which would not be that hard or bad, or blur it. That could also work. But yeah, I think the general colors are nice like this. Obviously the detail texture below will also change at some point. But yeah, on the right track, still needs tweaking. Back in GIMP. Let's get the alpha channel. Here we go. And I think this black part in the middle, I will brighten that up just by painting, maybe like this, painting white over it, just really lamely. That's maybe a bit much. Let's see, maybe take something like this and yeah, let's just paint this out a little bit. Obviously we still want that shadow around, because this is where the shadow is supposed to be. But at the top, a bit of the structure should still be there, but not a lot. Most of it should just be snow. Okay, let's try it like this. This is what it looks like then. Yeah, that could work. Let's save it and get it set up. And I like it. I think this is the style we're going with. It has that blue shadow under it that really makes it look like snow and will really fit in well with the new detail texture we're gonna make soon. Still have to check out the road in-game obviously, but still. So what I'm going to do now off camera is use the exact same method to replace the ME Genrock 2 texture for this one. And then that's one thing off the list, I would say. And actually this is one of the, or maybe the thing, together with the trench skirts, that most people asked about in the comments. Like, why are there rocks everywhere? Why don't the trench skirts fit? Now the trench skirts we will only retexture, along with the roofs and so on, once we have not detail textures, once we have the light maps done. And we can only do that after we are reasonably sure that we won't change statics anymore and vegetation and so on. So I'm still waiting for more feedback. Will also do some running around on the map myself. But yeah, one thing I'm interested to see is how this will look in game. These areas here with the snow path. I'm not 1000% sure about these ones, but yeah, we'll see. I think they will look cool. Like they ran through here and some of the snow chunked off. Is that a word? I hope it is. So yeah, as I said, off map, off camera, I will replace these here. After that, we will replace this texture here with one that we prepared already. So, this is the snow texture I'm using for the disturbed snow right now. It's 512 times 512, which is not amazing. I want to replace it with one based on this here, because to me that looks more like what I want. Now, with this being snow, it's already kind of desaturated, but normally what you would always have to do is desaturate it. Which, yeah, okay, let's do that. I don't think with the YouTube compression you will even see that anything is changing here. But okay, so we desaturated that. And next up, I want it to be roughly as dark as this one here, maybe a bit brighter. So it doesn't stand out too much from the rest of the detailed textures. This often requires a certain amount of messing around and trying it in-game or rather in the editor until you get the brightness right. So we're gonna make it a tad darker. Let's start with -50 for now. And then already save it over with mipmaps into the detail folder. First of all, we will put a new folder into our source folder here, detail textures. And I think we're gonna call it, let's say opmath disturbed snow. Copyright strike from that metal band incoming, but here we go. Is it also DXT5? Let's try it with DXT5 for now and then compare it. So we put it in here, detail textures, 1.33. And yeah, I know I should just, no, that was absolutely wrong, because the source or the file that was already there is way smaller. So it has to be something else. Then it's probably DXT1. How big is that? No? It's a DXT3. It's always the last one you try, obviously. Do you notice that I don't do this part very often? No, that's also wrong. Oh wait, is it just no compression? Is that it? That can't be right. No, that's 4 megabytes. Huh? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, fucking hell. This one, it has mipmaps. Oh no, of course it's different because it's fucking smaller. I forgot this is... Yeah, it must be DSD5 then. Let's just do that. I forgot that this is like twice as big, basically. Actually more than twice as big. So, let's just do it like that and copy it over from here. And see if it works. If it doesn't work, we can resave it after all. No, that's road. So this is the detail folder, put it in here, and let's look at it in the editor. So, this is what it looks like now, and it is a bit too bright, I would say. A tad too bright. Gonna say this, it actually fits the color texture better than the original one that I used, but it is... I don't know if it's just too bright, or if I also need to mess with the contrast a bit, but obviously the snow chunks, they stand out too much. So I need to darken this up a little bit for sure. I mean, this area kind of looks cool, but yeah. Contrast and brightness. Contrast up, brightness a bit down. Actually, it doesn't look too bad from this angle, like this, but yeah. Maybe it's also a part of the tiling. I think this would be a good tiling size. Maybe a bit more. Put it to 48. Yeah, this would be a good... Now it actually looks massively better, because the chunks are at the right size, but it still needs to be a little bit darker. And but after that it should look nice, especially around the craters here as well. Yeah, let's do that. Updated it, and not gonna lie, kinda like it. I think this is our disturbed snow now. This is basically what I pictured, or this is basically exactly what I pictured. The snow chunks kind of blend in nicely, so it gives it that 3D kind of look, and yeah, like it a lot. This also now, these snowed in craters, also kind of cool now. Don't know how this will look in game, but yeah, that's something to try out next, I guess. But yeah, pretty cool. I think this will make the map look a lot more unique as well. Anyway, I would say... No, it's not enough for today. I will... there's a bug right now with the KV1S, the winter one, which is crashing the game. In-game, I mean. This is, by the way, what that looks like, the Russian version in the winter. Need to have one league at least, and as soon as that's fixed and committed, I will look at this in-game without crashing and see if it needs any more tweaking. So yeah, magic time jump. And we are in game. So the KV1 does not crash you anymore. Found another bug with it though. If you go too far away, the LOD is fucked up. Any second now, yeah, here we go. So that's not normal, needs to be fixed. Other than that, looks cool. Let's run around here a bit. I do like how the snow chunks look now. I made them a bit thicker, as you can see. I might have to make them a bit smaller maybe, but I will wait for more feedback here. Generally I'm very happy with how that looks now, especially with that new texture under it. I think that's generally a pretty cool graphical effect. Another thing that I thought about is this texture is 512 times 512. Like, look at this, this looks cool. And that's a bit low. And yeah, I will maybe look if I can find another patchy snow or snow with vegetation sticking through texture to get or to put under these areas here, but I will do that in the next video. So yeah, for now pretty happy with how this looks. I think we're getting there. The map looks better and better. As I said, next up probably looking into this texture here, and I think I will also make a new sky and new light settings, even though we can't light map it yet, but some new light settings, because I'm trying to go for a kind of white out look for this map, and this is the default light setting for Battlefield 2, or maybe actually for Forgotten Hope 2, who knows. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.